Hi team, today we're at Reedsdale at Bundaroo Farm where we're going to learn about Husk and Harvest walnuts with Mark. Yeah!
Mark Jankelson, and we're at Bundaroo at Reedsdale. Looking for a name. This place has lots and lots of rocks. You only have to kick the ground and find. We're on the top of a volcanic plain, so the high point is just out there, and so it's just littered with volcanic rock. And so we searched and found the name Bundaroo, which is in one of the Aboriginal languages means place of many rocks. Husk and Harvest is our retail brand, and Bundaroo we sell wholesale and run our cattle stud. Yeah, we got some agronomist advice. We did soil tests. We actually sank a couple of deep bores, and we knew we wanted to do something, but not sure what. And in this area there's olives and there's grapes, and we didn't want to do that because everybody was doing that. There was a nursery over here, and we developed 10,000 trees in the nursery, and then started building an orchard. And then in 2013 I left full-time work and we started living here, and we started developing this line of value-added products, and that's proved to be really very successful. What motivated us to walnuts was that at that stage Australia was importing 90-something% of its production consumption from the US mainly. And so we thought, great, here's an import replacement opportunity. So I'm sitting on the Walnut Industry Association marketing committee, and we're having a serious conversation about how do we convert consumers to buy local and to buy more, because the market is underserved with nuts generally. So the recommended amount of nut consumption a day is 30 grams. A small percentage of Australian population consume that much. So that's nuts generally, and then walnuts are consuming a disproportionately small amount relative to overseas patterns.
There's a really interesting study linking walnuts to brain health as well, and happiness.
And that's related to prevention of cardiovascular disease and inflammation, all of those sorts of things. So walnuts actually help you sleep better. They help you manage your appetite. So there's a lot of, you could go on about the health benefits. But interesting research says that people in your age group and younger aren't particularly persuaded by health benefits. So we do a coffee-coated walnut, we do a cheese-coated walnut, the products, because people say, "Now I don't like walnuts." So we introduced these as, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? And they then said, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. And so we slowly got them into walnuts. And just the other day she came up with something new, which we're trialling at the moment.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's a chocolate ducker, which sounds weird, but...
Other than working on the farm, that kind of thing, how do you like to look after yourself?
Well, I'm quite deeply involved in the social sector through an organisation called Social Venture Partners, which is a global organisation of individual donors, mini philanthropists I call them. We put money into a pool and then we invest in non-profits. So we do lots of interesting work. So our main focus is on young people facing difficulties in getting ahead. Up until last year I was still doing a bit of coaching, executive coaching, which has been my field. But
Do you ever need to coach walnut trees? Or?
I talk to them.
Do you think it helps talking to them?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I
Do they
joke.
ever talk back?
No, they never talk back.
Okay. Do you get the most satisfaction out of someone giving you feedback like that, or is it develop something, seeing something that's grown successfully?
That's an interesting question. So I don't think about it as much now, but in the early days, just seeing, you know, we'll go out and have a look at the orchard, but this enormous good feeling about having started with nothing, an open paddock, and now there's trees producing, is a great feeling. Just looking at this and saying, wow, you know, we did this with our hands.
Certain amount of pride in that. Yeah.
Huge pride in doing that. This is a cracker, walnut cracker.
Yeah.
So it's got a spinning plate and
A bit bigger than a Christmas cracker.
Correct. Cracks the walnuts, they drop down. That's a blower that blows upwards, and it blows the shell out into there. The walnuts come out here, graded in size. So full halves, nearly halves, quarters, small pieces. And then we put them through this machine, which is a colour sorter.
Yep.
And that picks up the shell and throws out any of the walnuts that are marked. So walnut oil conventionally would be great in salads or as a dipping oil. So take a nice ciabatta and dip it in walnut oil and then in the ducker.
Yep.
What comes out of the oil press is this walnut flour.
Amazing.
So that's after all the oil is extracted from the kernel. And we sift that and then use that for making our walnut biscuits. This is where we do the dry roasting of the walnuts, the packing.
Does it get very hot in here?
It does. But you know, with farming, you spend a lot of time on your own.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of think time.
Yep. Do you enjoy that or find it difficult sometimes?
Yeah, no, I do enjoy that. It's my my mindfulness occupation, to be honest. Especially on a tractor, bouncing around. You know, it can be pretty boring.
Yeah. I've got a ride on mower that I get very excited about.
Yeah. So.
Do you have any recommendations for if someone wanted to grow a nut tree in their backyard or anything?
Yeah,
like
you
that?
need to.
You need to.
He loves chasing that.
Yeah, Ben as well.
We'll have to wait until they go away.
Yeah. Does that look dramatic?